Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants lost to the Diamondbacks today 7-5. Obviously, having Ross Stripling on the mound is an entirely different thing than having Alex Cobb on the mound like the Giants did yesterday, and Stripling has just been a very bad pitcher this year. In fact, this time the Giants actually decided to try using an opener ahead of him. John Brebbia pitched the first, and he held the Diamondbacks to no runs in that inning, but then Stripling, he started allowing runs, and then the D-backs got another one off Jakob Junis, and ultimately the Giants lost. Jock Peterson had a 2-run home run. Michael Conforto also had a solo shot. And Casey Schmidt had another RBI hit, a double today. He's just really started the season hot, and definitely he's not a disappointment. Having been really good in spring training, now he's just performing. He's really hot for the Giants right now. And again, I do think that he'll have to know how to make adjustments in order to keep this up, because otherwise pitchers will figure him out and what pitches he can and can't handle. I think that's bound to happen if Schmidt can't make adjustments, and whether this is his final call-up of the year, and whether he has a permanent spot on the team this year and won't ever need to be sent down again. I think that too remains to be seen. We're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves with Schmidt yet, but the way it stands right now, I think he's on track to be a very good player for the Giants this year, and I think he just needs to keep working and developing, and so that he can keep his game on the right track. And, I mean, just going back to the pitching, I think the Giants decided to use Brebbia in the first. They were just trying something new with Stripling, I guess, trying to prevent him from having to face the top of the lineup immediately, and that didn't work today, and he allowed, I believe it was 5 runs, 4 of them were earned, so that went bad, but I think we do have to say the bats were hot today. It's just, if somebody messes up, then that obviously is how you lose the game. But this series against the Diamondbacks here is tied at 1 game apiece. And I think if the Giants as much as split this series, they'll survive. Obviously, they ideally will take it, and I think it's an opportunity for them. We just have to see who's on the mound, and I think, according to my understanding, I don't know if they've announced tomorrow's starting pitcher and the next day, but according to my understanding, they're kind of taking this day to day here. And why Ross Stripling still has a spot in the rotation, even if this thing with him pitching behind an opener really becomes kind of a normal strategy. I don't even really know why he has a spot as far as pitching, like when it really matters, when the game's tied. It just seems, or when the Giants are clinging to a small lead, it just seems so out of place right now, the way he's pitching, and it seems like the Giants could have a starting 5 without him. Obviously, the trade-off would be if Jakob Junis was starting regularly. It's not like I really trust him to be that great either. I don't think that Junis is a guy that we can count on, or at the very least, I would just have to see more performance from him to really be able to believe that. You say the same thing with Sean Manaea. So in general, the rotation is just not what we expected it to be, and that's a significant problem for the Giants. I think. Now, due to the fact that they're able to hit, they've been able to survive some of it, and this goes together with the fact that they have some starters who can throw, and Logan Webb and Anthony DeSclafani and Alex Cobb seem to be the guys that we should realistically be expecting to be good and consistent for the Giants. Now, there's some good news in that regard as far as the rest of the series. Logan Webb and Anthony DeSclafani, I believe, are both on target as far as days of rest go to start. So even though it wasn't announced at the beginning of this series, I'm not sure if they've put it up yet, but I think assuming they're available, which I believe they are, excuse me, then I think Logan Webb and Anthony DeSclafani should both start the remaining 2 games of this series, and hopefully they can not only keep runs off the board, but also go deep into the game. That's what I think will help the Giants to win, and if that's the case, they will just have a really good chance of winning the final 2 games of this series, I think, if Webb and DeSclafani can pitch it. So we'll have to see how that goes. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.